there's so many things I can go into detail about, but for the sake of time and the sake of not making you drink water from a fire hose, I'm going to generalize things, and then I'm going to do my best to do frequent webinars going in a deeper dive with some of these topics. So today is all about 6 steps to build a successful business. I would venture to say that every person, every franchisee, if you're a dealer or a franchisee, you're in business for something greater than just, you. A lot of people are employees, and they're just really cool with safety. They're really cool with how things go, and that's fine. But most entrepreneurs do this crazy thing called entrepreneurship for something bigger than themselves. A lot of times it's because they want to fulfill a passion that they have, or they're unemployable. They don't like being told what to do. So they want to do something for themselves and be able to build something that they could be proud of. And so that's basically why this webinar is really important. If you're going to do it, you want to make sure you do it right. So we're going to go over 6 steps to build a successful business. Before we do that, though, I want everybody, if you have a cell phone, go ahead and scan that QR code, or go to menti.com and put in the code on the left-hand side. This will allow you to be very interactive with me. There's a couple of slides I'm going to have where I'm going to ask you to put in your answers or ask certain questions. And we're going to go ahead and get you guys to just participate that way. This is the best way I could do it on a webinar version without asking you guys to turn on your microphone and talk. This is a really cool feature. So when you guys are in menti.com and following along, push that thumbs up button at the bottom center of your screen and let me know that you guys are on. So I already see some thumbs up. That's awesome. That's awesome. Awesome. Oh, thank you for this coffee. I just got my coffee here. Okay, I got 1 thumbs up. So whenever you guys are on menti.com, go ahead and push the thumbs up button, and we will go ahead and get you on there. Okay, so somebody told me chat is disabled. Okay, I apologize about that. I'm not sure why chat's disabled, but the question and answer is open. So if you guys want to communicate, go into the question and answer. I'll see if Rachel can fix the chat feature. I apologize about that, guys. But I do have the question and answer tab up. So for right now, if you want to communicate with me, go ahead and go into the question and answer. All right. Thank you, Eric. Thank you for Leah for letting me know. Rachel's getting on that chat feature. All right, cool. So is everybody on menti.com? I only saw 1 thumbs up. If you guys can get on there, that would be awesome. We have at least 7 people on right now. And again, after I get the slide to move to the next one, the instructions on menti.com will be at the top of every single page. Oh, got some more thumbs up. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, moving on. Okay, so in this webinar, I just want to thank everybody for showing up. A couple of things here that I want to just position mindset-wise. In business, you can spend time or invest it. You guys are all entrepreneurs and business owners, and I think for the most part, we can all understand that concept fairly well. You can do your best investing your time. A lot of times we end up spending it and getting busy. Those are typically the days where there's so much that we did, but we don't feel fulfilled, or we don't feel like we got anything done. And that's because in business, it doesn't just mean to be busy, right? So learning how to invest your time is one of the keys to success. And frankly, being a part of this webinar is a version of investing your time. So my goal today is to educate and not motivate. I want to reward your time with ways to master the basic foundational elements of your business, learn our formula for profit, and overall just teach you guys the basics on how to build a business that can run without you. Okay. I used to be a contractor, and it was very, very, very labor intensive. And I found out quickly that I did not want to do this for a long time. And a lot of you guys are probably there. A lot of you guys have bought into the franchise or became dealers because you saw a great opportunity. But I can venture to say a lot of you guys don't really want to be the one running the business for the rest of your life. If you do, that's cool. But if you build it the right way, you can still be in the business and just pick and choose what you want to do, the stuff that makes you happy. So before I get started, just a really quick question I want to ask everybody. I need your guys' permission to be your coach for the next hour and a half. So go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you guys are all okay with me coaching you for the next hour and a half. I see a lot of people that I coach already, so I hope you guys are still okay with it. I see hearts. I see thumbs up. Perfect. If you guys don't want me to coach you, I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to be just doing it anyways, so you guys can just feel free to listen. All right, let me position our mindset really quick because we're going to go over a lot of information, and it's really, really easy to do a few things. It's really easy for those of you who have been around the block a couple times to say, oh, I know this stuff. Or it's really easy if you're struggling with certain areas of business to blame and make excuses and be in denial. But as humans, as business owners, we have two ways we can respond to anything, right? We could be above the point of power. So in this diagram, you see a yellow dot and a yellow line, and that represents power. Being above the point of power means that you take ownership, accountability, and responsibility for everything that you are in control of. This makes you very powerful. And as an entrepreneur, we need to have a powerful mindset. But we also could be powerless by blaming, making excuses, and being in denial, right? When the economy is bad, it's easy to blame the economy. You know, when inflation goes up and prices go up all around us, it's easy to blame and make excuses and be in denial as to why we can't succeed. Look at COVID a few years ago. There's a lot of companies that just were below the point of power. And frankly, I understand why. But a lot of those businesses, if the owners did not become powerful, then they lost their businesses in most cases. So I want everybody to agree to something here. Replace the words I know with isn't that interesting. Let me give you an example. How many of you have watched a movie several times, read a book several times, or went to a play several times, and the exact same things were said and done, but each time you watched it, read it, or attended, something different came out? There was a different blinding flash of the obvious, like, oh, I didn't realize that was in that movie. A lot of us have, and business can be very repetitive that way. We can get stuck in these lulls, and we could feel like I know this stuff already. Chances are you've probably attended other webinars or seminars or business things that probably talk about very similar things that I'm going to go over. But if you say, I know, you shut off your brain to learning anything new that you could learn and implement in your business. So I want everybody to agree to say, isn't that interesting, coach? Isn't that interesting? Can everybody do that today? Fantastic. All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty. Action Coach's definition of a successful business is this: a commercial, profitable enterprise that can work without you. Let me read that again. A commercial, profitable enterprise that can work without you. What does that mean? Well, a commercial means you're trading time or a product for money. Profitable means you're keeping some of that money after the expenses go out. And can work without you part means you have systems and a team in place to do all the work so that you don't have to. And if you are actually in the business working, it's because you want to, not because you have to. A lot of us have the commercial part down, and some of us even have the profitable part down. What's missing with a lot of businesses, and even in franchises, is the can work without you part. That is the toughest part that most business owners face. And in America, we have a very high business turnover rate. You know, in the first 5 years, about 50% of businesses or more, 60 or 70 sometimes, will actually go out of business. And within the next 5 years, half of the ones who survive the first 5 years will most likely be out of business. And this is due to one thing that Forbes magazine articulated. It's called burnout. Now, show me the heart button if you ever felt burnt out with your business. Go ahead and go to Menti and hit that heart button. I already see a lot coming in. Yeah. Burnout is real. It's very, very hard sometimes. I see a message here. Let me see what it is. Oh, somebody said, oh yeah, capital letters. Hey, that struggle is real. See a lot of hearts coming in. Okay. By the way, I just found this out on Menti. If you go to that screen, there is a chat button on some of them, and you could probably chat through there. I apologize about the Zoom chat, guys. It's not really working. Okay, so that is the definition of a successful business: a commercial, profitable enterprise that can work without you. And in the 6 steps I'm about to teach you, I'm going to go over how that's going to look. I wish I could snap a finger and just give you a magic pill and that can happen. However, all of this takes intentional effort and intentional learning, intentional planning, and intentional action on every owner's part. Okay. Now you're on this webinar because you probably are willing to take those actions, right? So based on that definition, how healthy do you feel like your business is? So go to menti.com, whether it's on your phone or your laptop, and type in your response. How healthy is your business based on that definition of a successful business we just went over in the last slide? I'll give everybody just a second. Don't feel like you have to write a 5-paragraph essay. Just let me know how healthy you feel like your business is in a few words or one short sentence. Listless. Can you go into the Menti chat and let me know what you meant about that? Oh, business is rocking. Okay, somebody's rocking their business. That's awesome. What else do we have? I know there's a lot more responses. There's 10 of you guys on here. Somebody's business is rocking. Somebody's listless. Okay, let's see what they meant about that. Busy most of the time. Oh man, I can definitely feel that. Okay. Record breaking. That is fantastic. I love that. Record breaking. Okay, any more answers? Still got a few of you here. Some of you guys are putting it in the chat. That's okay. Could use a lot more work. Okay, I see that. That one came in the question and answer. All right, so let me go over the 6 steps to build a successful business. I want to go over step by step with you guys and take just a minute to address each of them individually. Now, some of you guys are going to find that in your business, how you're doing things, you're going to find yourself in maybe several of these steps, but let me go over it in detail and in order. On the bottom, there's mastery. Mastery is about mastering 4 basic fundamental areas in your business. So that way we can alleviate or get rid of that organized chaos. Show me a heart in Menti if you understand what I mean about organized chaos. Do you ever feel like sometimes your business can be that, or somebody is smashing that heart? So I got that. Okay, so mastery is about mastering 4 basic fundamental areas, and then the next 4 slides, I'm going to go over that with you. Then when chaos is eliminated, or at least the majority of the unnecessary chaos, we start stabilizing our business through mastering our marketing. Now, there's 5 areas we could focus on that not only helps us with our marketing, but helps us to predict cash flow. Somebody's asking, what is the code for Menti? It should be at the top of the screen. Let me go back really quick to see if we got it. Okay, the code for Menti is 47777708. And Rachel's also typing that in. Okay, so back to the 6 steps. Hopefully that didn't screw you guys up. I apologize about that. So mastering marketing and branding is essential for your business. You know, branding is really about how people see you from the outside. Marketing is how you communicate that towards your target audience. And there's 5 areas I'm going to teach you to focus on that helps not just with the results you get from marketing and branding, but how to predict cash flow based off of that data. Then from there, we start to build cash through systemizing our business. There's 9 steps that we say to systemize your business. Then from there, you buy your time back by building a team. From there, you can start getting a general manager through scaling your business, right? And having 5 disciplines. And then at the very, very top is all about freedom. It's really about, you know, now you have a business that works. You could either be there or not be there based off of your preference. And you can start making decisions about this. You can make passive income. You can franchise it. You could sell it. You could keep it as an inheritance for your children. Whatever you want to do, that's the freedom part up there. Now, I will tell you this, that in this webinar, I'm going to focus heavily on mastery and marketing. When it comes to systems, teams, and scale, there's so much there that I'm probably going to do a separate webinar when it comes to that. But like I said, to help empower all of y'all, I'm going to do my best to start doing these things frequently for you. So let's get into mastery really quick. Mastery is, there's 4 elements. So if you're on Menti on your phone, you can snapshot this as a picture. You can write this down, but I'm going to go over those in detail for you. But the first step to mastery is really mastering what we call destination. Destination is really, to sum it all up, how does your business have to look when you've arrived? When you're at a place where you're like, okay, this is what I imagine my business to be. Now, destination has many elements. It's, you have to understand how your personal goals need to influence your business goals and not the other way around. How to build a vision around that. The good thing is Lifesaver Pole Fence has a very strong brand that has so many of those elements. The second part to master is your money. This is money because most people's money is funny, right? Basic break-even numbers, understanding my fixed expenses, variable expenses, profits, gross and net profit, cash flow. Now, as business owners, sometimes it's really easy to get into that funk of not wanting to know your numbers because number one, it's not your strength. Number two, it might intimidate you. You might not even know your numbers, and luck is your business strategy. But you got to know at least enough of all of those elements so that way when you have a team or a CPA or a bookkeeper helping you, you know how to ask the right questions and you know how to make decisions based off of facts and data instead of luck. 3 is mastering your time, right? This is not just business time, but also taking care of yourself time. If you're not good emotionally, spiritually, physically, you're really going to hurt your business eventually because you can't be the best for your business or your team. So there's a lot of those elements in time. And lastly, it's delivery mastery. This is the consistency and the systems you put in place to deliver that same unique experience to your clients that make them love you. They become your raving fans, they leave reviews for you, and they give you more work and they refer you out. That's how we know that we've mastered that. So let's get into destination, which is mastery number 1. Here are some bullet points for everybody to either snapshot, take a picture, or take notes. First of all, you need clear personal goals. Let me tell you why. Your business should serve you, not the other way around. But your business can easily get busy because number 1, there's a demand for what you do. Number 2, you guys serve and you deliver and you install the best product on the market. So there's going to be a demand for what you do. And your business can easily become this thing that takes over everything. And all your personal goals are planned around what the business does. I believe your business should give you life and not let it take it from you. So we need to define exactly what we want personally so that the business can be planned in a way where it becomes a vehicle to get you there. Business goals have to align to your personal goals. I want everybody to think about this for just a second. I'm going to pause for about 15 to 20 seconds. Based on what you want in life, how does your business need to look when it arrives or when it's done? If you have a notepad, maybe draw an org chart. How does your business need to look when you've arrived at the ideal place in life and your business is what's financially providing that for you? Think about that for just a second. And once you figure that part out, destination mastery is really about writing out a plan and implementing that plan. Because dreams and goals are great, but if there's no plan and no action behind it, it's rarely ever achieved. And I think, Eric, you know this well, right? All right, money mastery. This is number 2. Here are some basic things to understand. And for those of you, I see a lot of y'all that have coached with me already. I talk in my first session about the broke even number. It's really break even, but I call it broke even because if you're in business just breaking even, you're broke all over again until you can make just enough to pay everything, and then you're broke again. However, if you want to make goals, if you want to set goals, if we don't even know what it takes to break even, we can really do ourselves a disfavor. I don't have the formula up here, but if you guys want the formula, let me tell you this. Go ahead and grab a pen and paper. The break-even formula is this. Fixed expenses divided by gross profit margin equals break even. Fixed expenses divided by gross profit margin equals break even. Here's an interesting question. How many of you work off of budgets, both business and personally? Show me a heart if you guys do that, and if you guys have mastered budgeting. Okay, we got 1. We got 2. 2 out of 10. 3 out of 10. Awesome. Budgeting is one of those things that must be mastered. Why? Number 1, we don't know what we're working with unless we know what's going out. And number 2 is, how can you track your profit margins if you don't have clear boundaries and clear budgets to say, okay, this is what we're going to spend for fixed stuff. This is our percentage for, variable expenses. And based off of this profit, this is what I'm going to pay myself. A lot of business owners can't pay themselves in their business. And a lot of it has to do with poor budgeting, and not just for the business, but personally, right? How many of you have ever fallen into this trap? You have a business, it's profiting, but because we don't have our personal finances in order, we're always taking draws in our business, and we always wonder why there's never money left over in our business. I got a lot of hearts on that one, and that's okay. I struggle with that very bad. I failed my first 8 businesses, by the way, guys. That's my resume. I failed my first 8 businesses. Thankfully, I was hard-headed enough to keep going. Thank God my wife is still with me, actually. She's awesome. But budgeting is a key to killing a lot of profit. Speaking of which, the next part is, how healthy are your profit margins? How many of you know how to track and measure profit? Right? There's gross profit, there's net profit, and lastly, there's cash flow. Those are all 3 separate numbers and separate results. So mastering your money is mastering a lot of those things that I just brought out. There's a little bit more to it. And I'll actually do a webinar when it comes to actually money mastery, how to find your break even, how to put a budget together, how healthy are your profit margins. Now, looking over the manual that you guys got with Lifesaver Pool Fence when you started your franchise, there's a lot of this stuff in there. And it'd be really good to kind of read that all over again. But if you want a successful business, your numbers have to be right. I always say this: business is knowing numbers and knowing how to handle people. All right, time mastery. Here are 4 areas to prioritize when you're mastering your time. Number 1, understanding what priorities are rather than just things to check off. Eric, I saw a post that you did about a week or 2 ago when you talked about it's not enough just to have a checklist of things to do, but identifying the priorities on that checklist can also alter the results you have on a daily basis. How many of you guys love to check things off? You feel very, very accomplished if you check off those things on a checklist, right? That's great, and I want to encourage you to keep doing that. If you don't do this already, I would love to encourage you to do one more thing. Write out the checklist, but if you highlight the top 3 or 4 things that must get done that day, which are your priorities or your big rocks, or for some of you that know the frog analogy, eat that frog, get those done first. If those priorities are done first, then give yourself permission to handle all the other things. Working on your business versus in your business is something that you guys want to master. Now, I know that the chat feature is not working too well, but if you go into the mentee chat or the question and answer, somebody tell me, what is the difference between working on and in your business? And if you guys just want to give examples of on and then in, that way I could see where you guys are at when it comes to understanding that. On versus in. What's the difference, guys? Okay, I got something in here. I got something. On, an example of on is networking, marketing, and closing deals. Okay. I'll wait for a couple more answers and I'll give you what my take is on that. What else, guys? What else? Give me some examples of on and in the business. Got some more here. One second. Working on is helping it grow. In is staying busy. Okay, I love those two ideas. I don't know if the chat feature is really hard for you guys, but I got a few answers here, which is awesome. Okay, so yeah, you guys are kind of right. So working on the business is basically doing things that are productive for the business so you get that long-term growth. You might not necessarily see immediate results, right? So when you're working really hard to brand your business and the market, or to even plan, or to sit here at a webinar and learn about your business so you can figure out things to implement, that's working on your business. It's hard sometimes, especially when you start your business, to work on the business, because sometimes it's hard to see that immediate result, that immediate fruit that we need. A lot of times we're very money driven. Like we need profit, we need profit, we need profit, we need revenue. So in the business is actually what keeps you busy. Going out doing estimates, answering phone calls, closing deals, those things. That's in the business. Organizing your desk, scheduling out your technicians to go there, making sure House Call Pro is set up, things like that. That's working in the business. Those are necessary things you have to do to get the revenue and the profits running. Working on your business, think long-term or short term, but not immediate. I always went with the Pareto law, the 80-20 rule. Everybody ever heard of the 80-20 rule? When I started coaching, because I didn't want to fail my 9th business, I got a coach. She said, well, let's follow the 80-20 rule, right? If you just take 20% of your efforts in your business to work on the business and 80% was devoted to working in the business, you'd get a lot more done because you're actually just setting time aside to work on the business. I had a hard time trying to figure out what was on the business. So she said, coaching is on, coming to workshops to plan for your business is on, networking, doing all those necessary things that give you that longer term results, which is equally just as important. But you still got to work in the business and make the money and do all the things that drive sales. I got another chat here. Let me see what they said. Okay, I like that. 80-20. 80-20 of the people do 80% of the deals. Yeah. In organizations, a lot of times they say 20% of the people make up the results. 80% just kind of, don't do much. And that's true for a lot of organizations. I go to a church and the joke is 20% of the people actually make the church run. 80% of the people just are pew warmers. So yeah, that's a good analogy there. All right. In time mastery, other things to also master is how to be efficient with your time, right? And lastly, self-mastery is very important. We often are so motivated when we start to run a business that we forget that we have to take care of ourselves, right? We all have personal ambitions, personal things that inspire us, that motivate us. And if we don't take time to address those things or to even rest, we slowly become very dangerous to our business. Because if you're not okay, your business cannot be okay long-term, especially in the beginning when everything rides on you. So self-mastery is something I teach and I really push often. There are a lot of business people out there that say, well, if you just work hard and grind hard and never ever stop, you'll just look up and business will be successful. Well, there's truth to that. My take on it is if you don't take care of yourself and don't rest, then eventually you're going to burn out. And I don't want to be part of the statistics of what most American business owners go through. Oh, we got some more chats. I love how interactive this is. Give me a second, guys. Oh, just a correction for the 20%. Gotcha. Okay, so that's time mastery. Next up, we have delivery mastery. This is the last of the 4 mastery points. These are things to focus on when it comes to creating systems to give that consistent client experience. Quality of your product or service. That's easy. You know why? Because you guys offer a top-of-the-line product and it's shipped and delivered to you guys. So you don't have to worry about articulating that. Well, you do want to articulate that to your clients, but you don't have to worry about your product being something of quality. It already is. Something to focus on when it comes to systemizing delivery mastery is focus on customer satisfaction. I forgot her name. She's a philanthropist. Maya Angelou. She said, people don't really remember what you did for them. They remember how you made them feel. Your customers are the same way. How did you make them feel when you answered the phone throughout the whole entire sales process? when you showed up to do the estimate, when you took the deposit, when you went out there and installed, did you change your life just by your presence being there and your company being out there to help them out? Focus on customer satisfaction. How can you implement some customer satisfaction systems into your existing systems? Number 3, the power of consistency, right? Once you find something that works well, or in this case, you have systems through the franchise, all you have to do is stay consistent with following the system. There's nothing worse than having a client that absolutely loves you because you made them feel great. They referred you to a client, and because of your lack of consistency, that client had a totally opposite experience, talks to the person that was referred to you, and you kind of look like you don't know what you're doing. So consistency is key when it comes to following any systems and when it comes to client satisfaction and client experience. Ease of access. How easy is it to access you? This is easy for you guys. House Call Pro is a great CRM system that helps you guys with ease of access. Ease of access for you, ease of access for your clients as well. And how well do you deliver a brand or your brand promise? The promise that people feel when they buy your brand. Lifesaver Pool Fence does a great job with that. So how do you articulate that brand promise? Is that in your language when it comes to talking to your clients, talking and giving them, some type of satisfaction or feeling? And if you don't, I would suggest that you really, really get in tune with the brand so that way you can easily articulate those things, because when it comes to it, your customers are looking for an experience from you, not just the best product on top of the line. Those are great. Those are those are definitely obvious. But if you can create a great experience, now the product that they just bought and the service they got, it's going to feel like it's 10 times more, and they're going to love you, leave reviews, and refer you to more people. So go to menti.com. I saw a couple people jumped off, but go to menti.com, and I want you to rate how well you feel like you perform in those 4 areas. So take a minute, go to menti.com. How well do you feel like you perform in destination, money, time, and delivery mastery? All the way to the left is not confident at all. All the way to the right is very confident. How well do you feel? Let's wait for some answers to come through. You guys think about it for a minute? All right. Great. Oh, money mastery is low. That's what it typically is when we start. All right. All right, now it's moving. It's taking the average of everybody here. We'll wait a few more seconds for everybody to average this out. Let me see what this button's telling me. All right, we got a few people that participate. Let's wait on a couple more. Okay, it's averaging. Here we go. So it seems to me that destination mastery is one of the stronger points. And that doesn't surprise me. Most entrepreneurs are big dreamers. We want something big. We want something bigger than ourselves. And that's probably why we do this crazy thing called entrepreneurship, right? We are professionally unemployable because of that. Money mastery is the lowest. Okay. Time mastery is average to be decent, and delivery mastery. Okay. So the goal, guys, is not to take this entire webinar and say, I got to do everything. I got to do all this at once. But as we go through these steps, one thing I want to encourage everybody to do is identify 1, 2, or maybe 3 action steps to take without overbearing yourselves or overburdening yourselves, and implement those in your business. If you're noticing that money mastery is low, for those of you who said it's pretty low, I want to challenge you, create some action steps around that. Get with me, your coach, or whatever coach I've assigned to you, and ask your coach, okay, I need to master money. Teach me my break-even number. Teach me how to find out my profit margins, and I need help budgeting. Okay? Thumbs up if you guys are going to do that. Remember, this is Action Coach. Let me think about it, Coach. So I'm going to give you a lot of action steps here. All right. All right, so the second step on that 6 steps is called niche. Go ahead and go on to Menti, and I'm interested in finding out what you guys think the definition of niche is. What do you feel like niche means, or niche, depending on what part of America or the world you're from? Niche. What does that mean? Go ahead and go to menti.com and type in some of your answers. Okay, the first response is something that you specialize in, specializing. Okay, great. Specific service that you offer and are good at. That's a great answer. Very specific market that you want to reach. I have somebody here in the chat. You see what you said. Your unique specialty. I like that. Okay. I'll wait for one more, maybe 2 more. What do you feel like the definition of niche means? And you guys aren't wrong. I'll tell you this. I'm going to give you the unique definition that we have. We love to change definitions, by the way. The expertise I dominate in that no one else does. Okay, I like that one. I like that one. All right. Are you guys ready for our definition? Here we go. We define niche or niche as having no price competition. Okay, in business, you can compete 2 ways. You can compete with value or you can compete with price. We already know that with Lifesaver Pull Fence, you're not competing on price, right? Please heart what I just said if you understand that you're not competing on price because you have a top-of-the-line product. Okay? You can compete with value or you can compete with price. I know for a fact because I've been coaching a Lifesaver Pull Fence dealer for about 4 years now in San Diego that you guys compete with value, right? It's the best fence to protect, children from running into pools on the market today. I see another chat here. 1 second. Let me address that. Okay, somebody said not everybody wants or needs top of the line. You're absolutely right. And so if you can identify those things through niching down, you'll understand quickly who you need to focus your time with and who you don't based off of what we call your ideal market. And your ideal market are the people that want value over price. If you can give them both, that's awesome, but people that are willing to pay for the value rather than just to compete on price. Now, if you have a top-of-the-line product that costs you money, if you're competing on price, I guarantee you're always going to have problems with your profit margins. No price competition also means you have to clearly define what your unique selling proposition is. Okay? Does anybody want to take a whack at it? What is your unique selling proposition for Lifesaver Pull Fence? And it doesn't have to be complicated. Write it in the chat. Yep. Strong guarantees. You guys have a fantastic guarantee that can easily help sell your valuable product, not your price competition product, but your valuable product. And then in niche, it's also about truly understanding the power of branding and marketing. Okay. Again, Eric has done a great job with branding this. And also I see that your marketing, at least on social media, has been really, really, really good. As a matter of fact, I happen to pop into your guys' algorithms and I'm always getting notified with when your ads come up, even when I'm not trying to look for it. So you guys are doing a great job here. Oops, I see some chats. Give me a second here. Okay, so somebody said a unique unique selling proposition is parents voted #1. What source did it come from? Because that's a great one. Strongest pull fence made 100-year warranty. That's a fantastic unique selling proposition. Because in some cases, the easiest way to do that is to have a strong guarantee, right? And here you have a 100-year warranty for a fence. It's really hard to fight that, by the way, if you're building wrought iron fences or anything like that. To have a 100-year warranty is freaking amazing. And it's the strongest, okay? Awesome. So moving on to the next one. Let's talk about branding just a little bit. So Lifesaver Pull Fence does a great job with it brands, but every dealer and every franchisee is also obligated to really reinforce that brand in your local area, right? So how you also put personalized social media posts up, how you have your website uniquely done for your area, how you network, how you do all those things. You are really branding who you are and what you do. Branding is really about how potential clients see you from the outside looking in. How well do you articulate your unique selling proposition? Is it all over your materials in a way where people understand the value of what it is? What is your unique value proposition, right? What value will they get if they went with you rather than the cheapest competitor? Okay, got another chat here. 1 second, let me see. Lifesaver Cares, pool fence donations, nonprofit sponsorships, warranties, etc. Yep, that could be a great value proposition as well. That if you're buying this fence, you're also participating in helping, in those areas that we donate to. I know some of you on here, you guys had a very unique experience with one of your children in the pools, which pushed you guys to really, really, really do this. And that really creates a strong brand that it's not just people trying to make money, but these are actually people that believe in the product because it affected them positively, and you actually want to go out there and help. That's a great way to brand. Okay, marketing is different than branding, but it goes hand in hand. Marketing is how you communicate your brand to your target market or target prospects. Now, let's back up here for just a second. How do you define or how do you find who your target market is? Does anybody want to take a whack at that in the chat? Because if you want to market and you want just anybody to see what you do, okay, great. You'll get a lot of impressions. You might even be able to talk to a bunch of people. But do you feel like your closing ratio will be high if you have not identified who you need to target? Okay. It is extremely important to understand your target market. We just talked about this earlier. Not everybody is looking for value. Some of them are actually looking for just price. So tire kickers, let me ask you all this. You guys know your price, you know your value, you know your brand. Are people who are kicking around the tire, are they your target market? Are people with homes that do not have pools and do not have kids your target market? If you're not communicating your brand effectively to where, all your ads and all your efforts are going to people that will never buy from you or would never be a good quality person to buy from you, then you're wasting a lot of your time. I got somebody else in the chat here really quick. Okay. Target. So this person said that their target market are parents and grandparents who want the best. Okay. I would go a little bit deeper. What's the best? What are their pain points? What are their frustrations? What is a problem that they have that will make them want to buy from you, right? Because once we identify our target market, we also have to identify what's the frustration or what's the problem that they're encountering that's strong enough to make them want to buy from you. Something that we preach here, or we really encourage to eventually have, is what we call a 10 by 10. So marketing is really about communicating your brand out there. And you guys already have really good ways that Lifesaver Pool Fence as a whole does things for you. So you have somebody working on your website and Google and social media. Well, if you just depend on that, you will get leads to convert. But what else are you doing to really, really, really communicate your brand to your local market, right? Are you networking in other networking groups? Are you identifying who strategic partners are, right? Some things are obvious. High-end contractors that build pools in backyards could be somebody or a company that could be a strategic partner with you. So 10 by 10 means 10 strategies across the board of how you market. So if it's web, it's website, SEO, et cetera. Social media is another strategy. That's every single platform that you have. This is easy because I know Lifesaver Pool Fence has a service that helps you out with that. But when it comes to networking, how many networking groups are you a part of? And do you have team members that could also are willing to also join networking groups? My firm here in Kansas City, we have many people that work for us. Everybody's a part of either one or two networking groups. And that's really how we grab and brand ourselves to our community. So following a 10 by 10 template can help you identify the areas that maybe you didn't think about. Now, will you be able to be or communicate all 10 by 10 all 10 by 10 ways? Probably not. But if you are able to write it out and identify what every area could be that you can communicate, you can start prioritizing where you want to start. And if you build a team, you can start delegating a certain task in certain areas for them to market for you. Okay. So that's branding and marketing. So niching down is about, branding versus marketing, understanding your unique selling proposition. And then you start to gather data whenever you start to market, right? What do you do with that data? Well, you study that data and you can actually make projections from that data. So let me teach you guys a formula called the 5 ways formula, or 5 ways to profit. That helps us to take the data that we get when we brand and market, because if we brand and market the right way, we'll be able to identify leads and all that kind of stuff. This is a formula that I start teaching everybody about maybe the 3rd or 4th session with me. So we can identify 5 areas that we can control as business owners that ultimately affect our revenue and our profit. So if you look at this formula on the left, it says number of leads times conversion rate equals customers, times number of transactions times average dollar sale equals revenue, times profit margin equals profit. There's a bunch of words. Some are blue, some are red. Red, customers, revenue, and profit. Those are all results. And frankly, sometimes we're only focused on the results and we're very reactive with it. We say, okay, how many customers do we get? How much revenue do we bring in? How much profit? And based on if it's good or bad, we either celebrate or we panic. Well, the 5 other areas are things that we can actually do, that we have influence on, and we can manipulate so that we can actually start to predict our results. So let's put some numbers together so that I can show you how this works. Let's pretend I have a retail company and we are going over last quarter's numbers and seeing what we did. So in this example, we had 4,000 leads that came in. So these are people that either, looked at us online, walked into our store, whatever it was that we qualified leads with. We converted 25% of them. That means any new customers we got was 1,000. We did an average of 2 transactions per client or per customer at $100 average dollar sale per transaction. So if we put all that together, our revenue is at $200,000 for last quarter. We know that our net profit margins are right at 25%. So we know, based off of this formula, that our net profit dollar amount was $50,000. Show me a heart if you understand so far. And I got a couple people in the chat that need to be answered. 1 second. That's a high conversion rate. This is just an example, my friend. Okay. All right. So you understand. So the cool thing about this 5 ways formula is it actually shows you the results of the new leads that came in. The great thing about this formula is that if you know your numbers and you know how to track this data well, you can actually project your results if you understand how this works. Let me show you and give you an example. Okay. So if we had these results last quarter, for example, it is our obligation to say, okay, are we happy with the leads that came in? Are we happy with the conversion rate? Are we happy with the transaction amounts? Are we happy with our average dollar sale and our profit margins? We should always be trying to do better, right? So if we sat down with our leadership team, or even by yourself, if your leadership team is you with a mentor, you with your spouse that's running the business, you say, okay, how can we increase the number of leads? Should we take Coach Joe's advice and add a couple more networking groups to our plate because we have the mornings free? Let's try that. And you make some great connections and now you're getting more leads. Maybe it's going back to your Google ad specialist and saying, hey, certain things aren't working. Can we try these keywords and see? And let's say you test and measure and it does well. Great. Now we're increasing our leads. Same thing with conversion rate, right? We're never going to have 100% conversion rate. If you have 100% conversion rate or close to it, that means you're too cheap. Trust me. There's something going on. I remember we were trying to get the highest conversion rate, so we discounted everything that we did, and I found out that I was competing with price. But what if your conversion rate, what if the improvements just come through taking a sales class or getting your salespeople to just understand the concept of asking good questions so that you can understand what the true problem is and not try to sell to a need, but to a problem. I find that a lot of people's conversion rates suffer because at the end of a sales call, we are sometimes too intimidated to ask for the business. Another thing that can help with conversion ratio is following up with anything pending, right? I know that you guys have automated follow-up systems with House Call Pro, but if you send out an estimate, well, if you send out an estimate within a good amount of time, within maybe 12 to 24 hours of you being out there, and you follow up within 12 hours of sending the estimate, you have a higher chance of converting than if it just sits, because remember, people feel emotional about the problems they're feeling. And if you can address that problem and give them their information that they want and need fast, you have a higher chance of converting. So something that I help a lot of clients fix is having a dedicated person always following up on pending estimates. And most times out of every attempt that we do, our conversion ratio slightly increases. So let's just say in those 5 areas, we did a 10% in leads, conversion, transactions, average dollar sale. We did a 10% increase of what we did. The new numbers or the new projections are on the right. We would have 1,210 customers. Our revenue for those new leads would be $292,820, and our net profit margin could be $80,525.50. So if you take this formula and master putting the numbers together to see what you did do, you could then master how to use those numbers and use that data to project future results. Business becomes fun when you start understanding and mastering this concept. Understanding what you did and knowing how to make it better in the future. How many of you guys, with a show of hearts or thumbs up, want to do better in your business when it comes to your numbers, when it comes to your revenue and your profit? Show me a heart, show me a thumb. Right? There's a lot of you. You wouldn't be on this webinar if you did it, right? So if you're coaching with me already, if you're one of the franchisees, after our about 3rd or 4th call, I think some of you have already started, I'm going to start having you track your numbers through the 5 ways. Okay. If you're a dealer and you want access to this, I have some worksheets. Just send me a chat and I can have Rachel send that to your email. We'll see how effective this chat feature is right now. I know I've been having some problems with it. Okay. You can also reach me on the Facebook group and just message me privately and ask me for the 5 ways formula. All right. So where does your business rank in those following areas? Do you feel like you're strong when it comes to customers, revenue, and profit margins, or not strong at all? Go to yourmenti.com and let me know how you feel about the results when it comes to this. Or write me a comment in the chat if you feel like you want to tell me something. If you got kicked off of Menti, just know that you can go to menti.com, and at the top of each screen is the actual passcode. Okay, great. Let's see it average out and see where everybody is at. All right, so for the most part, you guys are above average when it comes to customers coming in, your revenue, but most of y'all, according to this, feel like your profit margins could do just a little bit better. I just got somebody in the chat wanting to tell me something. Let me see. Customers love me, lots of reviews, just raise prices to increase revenue. That's awesome. Yes. When your customers love you, you get a lot of reviews and you get a lot of referrals, you have the freedom to raise your prices because now you're not about price, you're about value. And your value is defined through your customers being raving fans. This is when business becomes very, very, very fun and very interesting. Somebody said, oh yeah, I love it. All right, great. So step number 3 is now leverage. This is all about systems. And let me just kind of preface this, guys. I'm going to slow down with all of the details moving from here because right now, I feel like most of us are in the stages of mastery and marketing. Leverage is very, very important because it's all about systems. I will do multiple webinars going into more detail about systems and teams and things like that. So please don't feel like I'm shortchanging you. I just want to respect your time as well. All right, leverage is all about systems. If you watch how any franchise works, in order for any franchise to work or any large company to work, the business needs to be all about systems. The great thing is if you actually buy into a franchise, if you pay attention, you will have systems at your disposal. And if you follow these systems, you make the tweaks that you need to for your general area, you will be extremely successful in due time, right? But I learned this really, really hard. My coach, Coach Carrie Kaufman, who I'm business partners with now for this firm, she became my coach when I was running an air duct cleaning company in San Diego. As a matter of fact, I used House Call Pro too. I was actually one of the first pros to use House Call Pro. But I was the one doing everything. I had a couple of people working for me, and I thought I was high and mighty. You know, I had people working for me. I ran a business. But she asked me a couple of questions, and I quickly found out that I really only owned my job. Systems that I had were floating in my head, how I did things. I was constantly frustrated with my team because how I wanted the systems to be done and how they understood the systems to be were two different things. So I remembered she told me, hey, sweat builds you a job, systems build you a business. Eventually, I retired my boots because I followed her instructions, which is great. That's one of the testimonies I have here. But systems stand for save your sanity, time, energy, and money, right? Thumbs up or heart if you can relate to wanting to be this. You want to save your sanity, time, energy, and money. Well, if you build systems, this is exactly what you will do, right? Like I said, sweat builds you a job, systems build you a business. Your entire business needs to be systemized. Let me pause here. If there are certain areas of your business that depend on your brain and your physical involvement, then you don't really truly have a fully systemized business. Your business needs to have a system for everything that you do, right? We had systems on how to answer the phone. The first part of the system was you force a smile on your face and then you answer the phone because we wanted the client to feel good when we talked to them. That was part of the system. We systemized our vision and our core values on how often we talked about that. We systemized how every van was supposed to look, and we had a picture in there, and we systemized when they came to the office to clean their equipment. We systemized step by step on how to do X, Y, and Z in the field. You know, we even had systems on how to turn off the AC system in our building, right? The point of systems is to make your business so efficient that anybody that comes in, the training is easy. Well, I wouldn't say easy, but simple. Okay? If the business has to depend on you for important things, it is less valuable. When you build a business, you almost have to build it in a way where you can actually sell it. You may not want to sell it, but you have to build a business as if you wanted to sell it. What will you do? What will attract a client or somebody to buy your business? If you are involved in so many things, your business becomes less and less and less valuable, not to mention your sanity becomes an issue. If you're having problems understanding how to start writing out systems, like I did, my coach said, start off with a table of contents. Get a piece of paper or a Google folder and just write out every area you want to systemize in your business, including the services that you do. Okay, I'll do a workshop or a seminar on this in more detail, but systems are very important. Great thing is that you bought into a franchise, systems are already built into your franchise system. Your CRM system, House Call Pro, that is a system, by the way. How you use it and how you implement, that is a systemized process, should be documented. How you advertise, how you brand, how you market, those should be systems of how you address it each time consistently. Okay, next we have team. When you start focusing on building a team, this is where you can delegate tasks to free up your time. Now, as a business owner, you have what we call a genius. There's a book called The Great Leap by Gay Hendricks. I don't know, thumbs up or give me a heart if you know that book, but it talks about everybody has a working genius. And if you can figure out what that is and you spend the majority of your time in that genius, you are more effective for your family, for yourself, and for your business. Some of you guys, your genius is selling, but you're out there installing and answering phones and doing admin and all that kind of stuff. And you wonder why your productivity and your results are lacking. Well, when you start building a team, you can start identifying those areas that you need help in and start finding the right people to free up your time by doing those things. And even if you're great at it, if you have somebody dedicated to that, they could probably do it better than you. And that's okay. You actually want that, right? Buy your time back at a discount has been a concept that really rocked my theology of business in the very beginning when I started getting coaching. It's really easy when money is tight to say, well, I have to do that because I don't have money. I can't afford to hire this person even though I need them. I can't. Let me take a minute here to preface something. As a business owner, how much do you believe you are worth to your business an hour? Go ahead and write that in the chat. What are you worth an hour to your business? And to clarify, if you were to hire yourself, knowing what you know, being willing to do what you do, how much do you have to pay that person an hour to get the same results you are or better? Anybody want to take a whack at that in the chat? What are you worth an hour, guys? You can put that in the question and answer on Zoom, or you can go to Menti and put that in the chat. $200 an hour. That's a good one. Who else? What are you worth an hour? If you were to hire yourself doing everything you do now and more to get the same results or more, what would you charge? What would you pay that person? There's only one person, two people that want to say it. This other person said 150. Okay, well, we'll go with that. So at $200 an hour, and that's a good one. If you are worth $200 an hour to your business, I'm going to ask you guys this in the most gracious way I can. What are you doing stuff that you can hire somebody for $15 an hour doing? If you do things that is worth paying somebody $15 to $20 an hour for when you're worth $200 an hour for, wouldn't you use your time much more wisely? Now, I get it, guys. I'm not sitting here saying, okay, spend all your money and start investing, but you should at least start thinking about what you're doing, what capacity you have, and start identifying the next person that you should invest in if it means that much to you. Because if you need to work in your genius, what you're really, really good at, you're distracted by some of the lower level things that you have to do in your business, then it could really affect the results that you bring in. Right? And at the end of the day, when you have a team, because we learned about building systems, you have to train everybody on the systems. When you have a team, it's on you to train your team. And if you don't have systems to train them on, you're going to have very inconsistent results when you start letting your team go out on their own. How many of you guys have experienced chaos in the field because teams either weren't properly trained or the definition of how systems are being ran was articulated or defined differently between owner and employee? I got some hearts on that one. Right? It's tough. So if you're building a team, you got to have systems to be able to properly train them. Just like Eric, if he wants to bring on more franchisees, there needs to be a system for training to help everybody have consistent results. The Lifesaver Pool brand, the Lifesaver Pool Fence brand is so important that any franchisee, any dealer has to consistently produce that same result around, or else the brand of Lifesaver Pool Fence becomes weak, right? Well, your business, yes, you're representing Lifesaver Pool Fence, but that unique brand that you also have for your location and how you do things within your organization needs to be consistent across the board with your entire team. Okay? Business owners, here's a quick, crazy question. Who do you suppose your most important client is? According to this diagram, if you're the owner, your team is the most important client that you have once you start building a team. How you train them, how you empower them, how you get them to buy into your vision, mission, core values, all that kind of stuff. Because if they buy into those things and you're really good at training them the right way, they will take care of your customers efficiently. The customers will be extremely happy. And just like the circle goes, they will pay the business and the business eventually takes care of you. This is now when you start building a business that's profitable and is working towards working without you. Step number 5 is about synergy. Once you have a great foundation that you mastered, your marketing, your systems, and your team is working well, now you can start scaling the business. You can hire people to replace you, even as the leader, like a general manager. You can focus on leading or coaching your leadership team. Your involvement in the day-to-day stuff is starting to really take a back seat because you're a lot more effective coaching your leaders. Your leadership team is responsible for articulating the vision and leading their teams according to the core values and getting the results that you want to get. Synergy is that point in your business where you can breathe a little bit. Now, I'm not saying you don't get challenged here because you might have some challenges with your leadership team, but that's really on how you coach them, right? Your business is now running like a well-oiled machine, okay? Well-oiled machine, meaning there's not too many things breaking apart. Your systems are working well. You have a strong team, and now you're starting to replace yourself in the leadership position, and you're focusing on what you're great at, which is coaching your leaders and really being the most effective asset to your business. Results is step number 6. Okay, this is when business becomes top-notch. It's fun. Now you have choices to make, right? You can focus now on scaling your business even more if you wanted to. Your business is now an asset. If your business is an asset, what do you suppose you could do with it? In the chat. Why is it important for your business to be an asset? And what can you do when your business becomes an asset? Go ahead and go in the chat, please. When your business is an asset, what can you do with your business? How can it benefit you? Think ownership. Think now you possess something tangible that you could trade. You could sell your business. Yep, you could sell it. I did that a couple of times with a couple of businesses. You could franchise it. You could borrow against it and still have your business and have a lot of money. That's what the uber wealthy people do. You can keep it for cash flow. Your business is an asset. You can keep it for cash flow. You can give it to your kids. All right, I got a couple more here. And another chat here. You can go on vacation. Who said that? I love it. You can start making yourself feel good because you freaking built an awesome business, right? Passive income. Who wants passive income? Income that you don't no longer work for, but it keeps coming in because you did something once and you did it so well. Or you did it a few times and you finally got it well and now it becomes passive income. It can be given as an inheritance to your kids. It can allow you to have money that you can invest in other businesses. Look, once you do it once you're able to build a successful business once, you could do it again. Once you understand exactly what it takes to build a business, you could do it again and again and again. And that's where people become serial entrepreneurs. I failed my first 8 businesses. I got coaching finally. My 9th, 10th, and 11th became really well. I sold a couple. And now I have a few businesses that I run. Coaching is my passion business because I want to help people, right? But it gives you an opportunity. Once you know how to do it once, you can do it over and over and over again. It's like a rinse and repeat. And you could do it with different types of businesses because the fundamentals for business are very universal. So go to menti.com. What would you do if you had more time and more money? Let's say you had a business, it's running so well, you're profiting so high, you're paying yourself well, and you don't have to work in your business as often as you need to. You do it because you want to. What would you do with yourself, your time, if you had more time and more money? I would love to see the responses here. Try to write it on Menti. That way everybody could see it, but I have something here in the post. Have more fun. All right, give me details of what fun is to you. Whoever wrote that, what is fun? Name 3 things that you could do to have fun the way you want to have fun. Travel, grow food. I like that. I'm an urban farmer myself. Be with my kids. I got 5 kids. I understand that one really well. Work out. May I suggest that you still work out even though you're busy? But yes, if you want more time and you love working out, you can work out even more. Travel is the biggest word here. That means multiple people wrote travel. I love to travel. As a matter of fact, I'm traveling to France in 2 weeks. My family. Beach travel, spend time with friends and family. I like that response. Thank you for clarifying. Awesome. So does anybody know who Jim Rohn is? Show me a heart or a thumbs up if you know this guy. He's unfortunately passed on, but he was one of the leading speakers for personal development in business. He said, never wish your life were easier. And I got to stop there. I've done my share of complaining about how my life sucks because my businesses have failed and failed and failed. He says, instead of wishing your life were easier, wish that you were better. Isn't that so true? If you work harder on yourself, then you work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Somebody that I know right now, he's an older gentleman, and he was personal friends with Jim Rohn, and he told me that every time he spoke with Jim Rohn told him, mindset is everything. Mindset is everything. If you push yourself to be better and you work harder on who you are than you do in your job, imagine the results that will eventually come out if you stayed consistent doing that. Mr. Jim Rohn was not wrong. My mentor, Brad Sugars, he's the founder of Action Coach. He is like the Eric Lupton to you guys for Action Coach. He said, where you're going to be in 5 years is going to depend on the books you read and the people you associate with and the actions that you take. How many of you, with the show of hearts or thumbs up, are people who enjoy reading, or even if you don't enjoy it, you read so that you can make sure that your mindset is better? And what do you read? Are you reading things that help you become better, mindset-wise, spiritual-wise, all that kind of stuff? You don't always have to read that, but within the context of what you're doing, you should always read things as well that also make you a better person. So it'll depend on the books you read, the people you associate with, and the actions you take. The people you associate with, let me ask you guys this. Who do you surround yourself with? Right? I'll tell you what, the results that you get will really, really help anybody understand the people or the environment that you place yourself in. Now, as entrepreneurs, I will tell you this, it gets lonely. There's not a lot of people that do understand what we do and why we do what we do. And if you don't have a lot of entrepreneur friends or mentors that are at a level higher than you, it can become a very lonely road. And when burnout happens, it's easier to quit if you don't have somebody that pushes you to be better. I got something in the chat here. I read with my ears a lot. Absolutely, me too. I'm an Audible guy. I'm in my truck a lot, and Audible's on there. I mow my lawn. I have Audible in my ears. I do listen to music every once in a while. I'm not saying you can't. But yes, whoever wrote, I read with my ears a lot, I believe that counts because I do it. So there are people that believe, no, if you don't turn the page, it doesn't count. Well, whatever. As long as you're filling this with what you need to, that's what I care about. And that's what was going to bring the results anyways. All right. So guys, this is what I want to encourage everybody to do. Start thinking like an entrepreneur. How do they think? Well, they plan for the future. If you guys are not good at planning for the future, then start with a simple plan for what you want to do, what results you want, and a plan to get there within the next month or a quarter, if you can't see so far down the line. Okay, but successful entrepreneurs plan for their results. They don't rely on luck to be their strategy. They rely on planning, learning, and taking action. Okay. Change how you're doing things now. Everybody on this webinar, whether you're doing great or you don't feel like you're doing so great, There are things that we struggle with. There are gaps to be filled. Everybody has it. The thing that we have to realize is we are there because of something that we're doing right now or something that we're not doing. So if we want a change in how things look, we have to also change certain things. It's on us to identify what that is. And for those of you that are coaching with me, that's exactly what I'm going to try to help you find so we can make the proper adjustments to get the results that you're looking to get eventually. But if you keep doing what you're doing now, you will always get the same results. Has anybody heard the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result each time. Your dreams are a possibility. You just have to create a plan and take action. That's why I love the name Action Coach, not let me think about it, coach. Action is the glue that holds everything together. We can have dreams, we can have goals, you can learn what it takes to be a great entrepreneur. You can even have a great plan. But if you take zero action on it, you will always get the same result. Does that make sense? So here's something. Oh, actually, before I get into that, I'm wrapping up. As a matter of fact, I'm wrapping up a little early. I talked a little fast on this one, but I don't think anybody's going to complain about that. I might even stay on a little bit longer. If you guys have questions, you can type that in. But as I wrap this up, what is your greatest takeaway from this webinar? Go on menti.com. What is your greatest takeaway from this webinar? Oh, I'm going to give you guys a minute. I know everybody is happy to type in what their greatest takeaway is. Menti.com. Participate in this thing and let us know what your greatest takeaway was for this webinar. Well, make your business work for you to get more time and freedom. I love that. Love that. We got some stuff here in the chat that not everybody could see, so I'll read it out. I need to use your barber. Oh, thank you. You see the little slice right there? Who wrote that? I just want to know who you are. Is that okay? Here in Kansas City, there's a place called Scissors and Scotch. It's a membership. You get a haircut every so often, and every time you get a haircut, you get a cocktail drink. My favorite is smoky old fashioned, by the way. And they have fantastic barbers. Maybe I should be tracking. Need to know my numbers. Yes, absolutely. Whoever said that, you're absolutely right. Numbers don't lie. They don't care about our feelings. But what they will do is they'll tell you the truth and they'll tell you how you need to fix or where you need to fix things. Oh, Eric. Well, Eric, come visit me in Kansas City. I'll take you personally. How about that? 10 by 10 strategy was somebody else's greatest takeaway. Can you guys write it in Menti so everybody can see? I'll give you guys about one more half minute, I guess. Get systems in place so you are not working in your business as much, allowing you to work on your business. Yes. And guys, I'm going to do these webinars often. And I'm going to start taking certain pieces and just really honing in on it. Maybe 1 hour webinars. Did you guys like this, by the way? Show me a heart. Write me in the chat. I want to make sure that I'm empowering you guys as much as possible so you can take this. You guys are some of you are franchises and you get me personally, that's great. But even during our coaching sessions, it's hard to get through all of this. If you guys are dealers and not really take that leap of coaching yet, these webinars are going to be a fantastic resource for you to get something you need and identify certain action steps that you need to take to have a successful business. Awesome. Somebody said yes, this helped. All right. Couple things, guys. I'm an action coach, like I said. So the thing that I want you to do is to take action. Here's 5 steps, and you guys might not all be in the same things to be able to take action on. Number 1, if you're a franchisee and you have not started coaching, there's like 2 left, 2 or 3. Get signed up with us. It comes with your package. You guys will not regret it. Those of you who are already coaching with me, I see Shannon, I see a couple other people here. I know that at least they tell me they're having a great time coaching and it's been helping. So, get with some of the franchisees that are coaching, get some feedback. I know it can be very intimidating, but guys, I'm a very easy person to work with. Trust me. Hold on, I got somebody here in the chat really quick. Thank you. Super motivating. Absolutely. You're welcome. Now, if you're a dealer, I know that dealers, you got to pay for coaching. I do have special pricing for dealers, but if you're not ready or you're just trying to identify if this is something I should do, I will offer you a complimentary strategy session with either myself or one of my coaches. This is a high value ticket item, so I'll give you next steps on what to do and what to expect. It's a couple step process. But to get the strategy session will help you identify areas in your business where we could fill the gap. And at that point, if it makes sense to coach, we can talk about what that will look like for you. But again, because of Eric and because of Lifesaver Pool Fence, I've definitely brought some of the prices down for a special, not a discount. I'm going to give you special pricing. So that way you can take advantage of coaching and really build your business the way it should. Guys, I also have some workshops that help. I talked about creating a plan and taking action. There's some in-person events that I do and one virtual. It's called Growth Club. Guys, this is an actual coaching thing. It's part of the coaching package that we do. And it's a quarterly workshop that I do where we talk about business fundamentals and we also teach you how to plan for your next 90 days. I love planning in 90-day segments because it really helps you take that big picture of what you want to do and break it down into bite-sized pieces. I have one in Kansas City on September 13th. This is in person. So guys, if you like to travel, I'm in the Midwest. So I'm kind of central to the majority of you. I know it's still a drive. It's $275 for it. You guys will drive here, get in a hotel, but I like to have a lot of fun too. It's an all-day event. We plan out, and then afterwards we have bourbon and wine tasting and just a huge open networking opportunity. When I say that there's entrepreneurs that are motivated that you want to place yourself around, this is one of the events that you want to do it at. Growth Club in San Diego is on the 27th. It's $299. It's just a little bit expensive because inflation out there. And I apologize, we no longer have the hybrid version for that, but we do have a virtual version on the 20th. So it's all going to be the same information. The topic this quarter is going to be getting back to the basics, how to strengthen your business foundation. And we're going to teach you how to plan out your next 90 days. So if you guys want to take advantage of this, write me in the chat, reference this on Messenger inside the Facebook post. We can figure out how to get you guys registered, and you guys will just have to find your way either to each location, or if you want to do virtual, we get you set up with that link. But these are powerful workshops to attend and to invest in that help you work on your business and also help you get better at what you're doing, because you guys can accomplish your goals. You just have to put a plan together and follow that plan. That's literally what it is. That's why franchises are so efficient, because you just follow a plan in essence. And if you do it consistently and you do it right, your results are sometimes very, very predictable. Okay. So guys, I want to thank everybody so much for attending this workshop. I will be doing more of these more often for you guys. If there's any topic of business that you are interested in learning about, hit me up on Messenger. Let us know in the chat. If you guys benefited from this, please put it in the Lifesavers Facebook group that you guys had a great time. We want more and more people to come to these webinars, because if you guys are better, everybody wins. The Lifesaver Pool Fence brand really becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay. Lastly, if you benefited from this, the highest compliment you can give me is a 5-star review, or to follow me on Instagram. Feel free to leave me a 5-star review based off of what you learned here today in my presentation, and follow me on Instagram. I'm always doing some short reels with some information for business. But with that being said, guys, have a wonderful day. I'm going to stick around for a little bit. If you want to put some stuff in the chat to ask me, I'll stick around for 5 to 10 minutes, and I'm more than happy to help anybody out with any specific question that they might have. Guys, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Why did I become a business coach? Great question. I did not see myself as a coach. So I failed my first 8 businesses, and that was devastating for my family. Like I said, I was hard-headed. I heard a statistic that 9 out of 10 businesses fail, and I was like, well, let's just start with the first one, see where it goes. Not a good strategy, by the way. However, when it came to starting my 9th business, after I took a break, I became a cop for a minute, and that didn't work out too well. So I had an opportunity for some guy I was already working for to start my own division of that business. My wife just said, look, I understand how ambitious you are, but you need help. So I invested in a business coach that coached my business. Well, that business did extremely well. What I was naturally doing was every person I networked with, I was kind of just starting to coach them, because what I learned, I became so passionate about because I saw the results that I started helping others. So a lot of my friends that were in business, I was teaching them the 5 ways and the 6 steps and all that. Well, the business that I was getting coached at, I was eventually within 2 or 3 years able to build it to where I no longer had to do any of the work. I was doing team meetings on Monday, leadership meetings on Wednesday, and I was still kind of going around prospecting with new clients and just really doing a lot of PR stuff. And I don't know, something in me just said, I can do what Coach Carey's doing for me, for everybody else. So I spoke with her. She actually did not want me to be on her team, but I insisted. So she reluctantly let me join her team as a coach. I got certified with ActionCOACH because I was familiar with it and I loved it. And that was in 2018. So I was coaching while running that business at the same time. I was living in San Diego. I moved in 2021 to Kansas City because of the whole COVID thing. And I sold those businesses and went coaching full time and started building these practices. I also have started a few businesses within the last 4 years that I just took the fundamentals of what I've been teaching and what I learned. I started the business, I invested the money, and now it's running on its own. And I just coach the managers that we put together. So it's fun. I love it. I love what I do. And I say coaching is the only business that I have where I'm actually fulfilling my passion, which is helping other business owners avoid that burnout and that business failure ratio. I truly want to help my local economy by helping entrepreneurs win, if that makes sense. Believe it or not, that was a short version. All right. Any other questions? I appreciate that question. Who was it, by the way? Was that Dennis, Eric, Leah, or Stacy? What new business have I started? So I have a real estate business where we flip houses. I don't do it. We actually have a team that goes and looks for houses. So we have a couple of divisions there. So we have one business where it's rentals and the other business where it's flipping. I'm investors in some other businesses with one of my clients, and I'm about to actually start a junk hauling business in Kansas City. My specialty is home services. I mean, we built a few very, very successful home service businesses, and in the Midwest, I'm finding a cultural issue. I don't know if you guys are in the Midwest, but excellence does not seem like it's a value out here. People are a lot more relational, so it feels like it's laid back. People can kind of come dressed however they want. If they mess up, they don't really worry about it too much because people are very forgiving out here. I want to change some of that culture and just put excellence in it. So we were very customer relationship and customer experience centric. One of the things that we bragged about was we are in the business of customer service and customer experience. We just happen to do it through air duct cleaning, dryer vent cleaning, and chimney cleaning. And I want to bring that same concept here where we look professional, our prices are understandable, our website looks great, our brand is strong. And with the right amount of money and capital and the right people, we can literally we start launching those businesses because we kind of know what to do to get it to a certain point. Then we just kind of grow and scale from there. So we're having a lot of fun with it. I'm not always doing things the right way still. I'm one of those crazy guys with a bunch of ideas. My wife is the one that kind of is more the logical brain and says, whoa, let's plan that out. And so it's really, really fun working together with her and working together with some of my leadership team too. Any other questions? Yes, I use House Call Pro. Our team used House Call Pro. We were one of the first ones. So what you guys have now is not the way it looked like when we were using it. However, it looks like it got much, much better. What are some of the tips that you're looking for? Because I was involved in setting it up. Frankly, after about a year or two of using it, my team was the one that got heavily involved in it because I got out of the field. But what tips are you looking for? Systems on estimates, using House Call Pro. Well, let me answer it the way. Oh, you wish you could search by address? Huh. Yeah, I think that they only let you search by name. Now, are you in the House Call Pro Facebook group? With your guys' package through Lifesaver Pool Fence, do they allow you to? Because you can actually join the private Facebook group and start asking for these changes, and based off of how many people are wanting the same thing, they'll actually make those changes. But let me address the systems on estimates. I can give you the systems that we used. I believe that whatever you do, you find out what works, and then you create a system and you repeat that often. If we got an inquiry for an estimate, you know, I know for you guys, either you do it over the phone, you do Google Earth. I think that's very efficient. I always loved whenever we sent out the estimate to follow up right away. I know House Call Pro has a text and an email system, but I love that personal touch. Again, we were very customer experience centric. Our team in the office just gently said, "Hey, so and so, we just sent out the estimate. Wanted to give you a heads up that it's there. Is there a good time where I can talk with you and your husband or you and your wife about the estimate so we can talk about if this is the right move to make?" Or if you know that you're talking to the decision maker, you say, "Hey, I just wanted to see if you saw the estimate. If you saw it and you're willing to work to move forward, I have some time on my calendar to squeeze you in there." Yeah, so for me, when it came to my estimates, we had a couple step process. We were able to do everything over the phone. So when they answer the phone, we asked for their name, their information, so that if we get disconnected, at least we have that and we can find out if they found us on Google or not. Then we asked them about the size of their home, how many air ducts they had, all that kind of stuff. And then we were able to give them a price over the phone. And we just, you know, from there said, okay, great. So based off of that, we have availabilities here, here, and here. Can we get you scheduled in our system? We would really love to be able to serve you and address those problems that you've been having with that. So our estimate systems were very, very easy, especially since we're over the phone. For our commercial work, we actually walked through it. It was very important that we made or built relationships with the decision makers, which were typically property managers for large apartment complexes, maintenance people, things like that. So identifying who you really need to build that relationship with is important. There's also a book that I'm reading right now called Gap Selling, GAP Selling, and it really helps you understand that when you're selling to a problem, not a need. And this will actually help you convert your estimates a lot easier. Sorry, I just rambled on that one because when it comes to systems on estimates, I'm not exactly sure what you're looking for. Find the pain point. Yeah, the pain point's huge. Find out what they're frustrated about and address those things. Okay, so you can search the customer list by address, put in the search box. Cool. Cool. Hey, here's a fun thing to do. When House Call Pro comes up, I think I'm still part of like those pictures that move forward with like all the professional shots of service people. Try to identify me. I have a client here in Kansas City that uses it, and I found myself. Yep, solve a problem. That book that I'm reading it like the third time now. It's called Gap Selling. It's a really great book to understand how to identify the problems in, you know, when you're selling. And if you are able to master this and ask for the business because of that, trust me, your conversion rate will go up. Okay. This is a lot of House Call Pro questions, so I will let it run. And if you guys can see it, that's awesome. But my assistant Rachel, actually, I moved her out here from San Diego. She was the one that She was the one that ran all my House Call Pro systems there. And funny thing is, my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, I got them a job at House Call Pro. So we could find this for you if you want. I think Rachel is more than willing to jump on a couple of calls with you if need be. I'll let her do that if you guys want to. She's a House Call Pro expert, and I can get my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law to answer some questions if you give them to me. Like I said, I'm available to all of you guys that way. I might not be the person that knows it, but I can help you find that answer. I'm also friends with the CEO and all those people there too. So more than happy to help if that makes sense. Okay, any other questions for me directly? I'm gonna wait one more minute and then I'm gonna go ahead and get out of this webinar. I really appreciate all you guys and all the questions. Like I said, if you guys can go in your private Facebook group and hype up what we're doing here, we really, really want to help all the franchisees and even the dealers. Like I said, if they succeed, we succeed as a whole. So thank you, Coach Joe. Appreciate the webinar. You are absolutely welcome, whoever said that. I appreciate you. All right, guys, have a wonderful day, and we will notify you again when we're going to do another webinar. Like I said, if you have any specific topics you want me to address when it comes to business scaling, customer service, company culture, all those business things, let me know, and I will do my best to get those in the schedule. All right, I'm going to log out here. Eric, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, brother. You're doing a fantastic job, bro.